What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Badly content. Today's video, I got something super special for y'all. It's going to be Form Zacian's first look into the Master League. Some gameplay submitted to the channel by a good friend of mine, Sir Breezy, who was able to get it at Osaka Go Fest. This thing is now the biggest form of power creep in the Master League, hitting about 5,600 combat power when fully maxed out. If you want to get Behemoth Blade on your Zacian, make sure that it has Iron Head. When you form change it, it will get Behemoth Blade. Same goes for Zamazenta. Let's get into the team here. Let's see what Sir Breezy is running alongside. He's going to be running Landorus. I love this core. Zacian beats all the ice types and things that Landorus does not appreciate, having that steel typing and coverage. We've also got in the back a Palkia. Palkia is just one of the strongest Pokemon in the meta, period, as it's very strong. And we still can't TM Spatial Rend. Let's get into these battles, trainers. I'm excited to see how this thing goes, and let's go. First game, Landorus into Rhyperior. You could not ask for a better lead. The opponent immediately switches into Dialga, and they're in absolute shambles right now, and they have no way to deal with this Landorus. Landorus, is this going to be... Don't tell me this is going to be a Landorus feature, because I need to see Zacian come out and destroy some people's souls, okay? We're going to catch on the Zacian. Look at it. Did we just catch it? He caught the Roar of Time on the Zacian. Oh my god! And this thing is on Metal Claw. You don't have to run Metal Claw. I think it also knows Fire Fang, but Zacian does not have the same move set as a Crown form as its base form. I believe it's missing some moves like Snarl, Quick Attack, Wild Charge. So check the move sets. I don't know the full move set. Can we please? No, we can't get to the close combat. But Landorus gets to come in and immediately fire off a Sandsear Storm after that overfarm from earlier. And it's going to be able to either get the final shield or the opponent's in shambles. The Kyurem comes in, and Palkia with 2 shields is looking to delete this trainer from the field of play. This Kyurem, good game. Let's go. I want to see this thing tank some damage. Next game up, we got another Rhyperior, and the lead opponent brings in a Palkia this time. And because of that one-turn switch in the beginning, the Landorus is going to be able to fire off Sandsear Storm before the opponent can get to the Aqua Tail. And now Zacian's going to come in, and even though these are resisted Metal Claws, it's bulky. Watch this. I haven't seen one of these, but I know it's got a lot of stats. Let's see how much an Aqua Tail does. Bro, that's nothing! That's an attack drop still. That's like nothing. Zacian is going to outdo these. I'm pretty sure the Dragon Breaths are healing the Zacian at this point. Unfortunately, a slight miscalculation on the overfarm there. Opponent's going to be able to get to an Aqua Tail, and the overfarm isn't going to be as good. But here we have a close combat fired off, and the opponent cannot get the farm down in one Mud Slap, so now they're going to have to potentially take a second. I wish we could have landed a Behemoth Blade, man. But the opponent giving up both shields, Landorus comes in almost completely. Doesn't care, dude. It doesn't care. If this is a Rock Wrecker, probably, but it's going to be a Breaking Swipe. Of course it is. Opponent, however, not going to be able to get to another move as the Sandsear Storm is reached on good timing. Opponent going to be in... Whatever they have in the back is not going to be having a good time here. Palkia can destroy almost everything with shield advantage in this meta. That's not, I mean, even most fairies. But no, as with every team, there's a Kyurem in the back. The difference is this one's on Dragon Breath, but Palkia can still reach the Spatial Rend in time to be able to get rid of this Kyurem and still farm down the opponent. Let's get this Spatial Rend. Palkia putting in some work here in this game. Boom! One shot. I mean, I need Behemoth Blades. I need it. I know Sir Breezy. He's going to land him. I need it, though. Opponent's getting fully farmed down. Palkia is saying, oh, baby, a triple, and that's going to be a good game. Next game, Landorus on the lead against Ho-Oh. Oh, no. We're going to see the opponent look to stay in here. They have a pretty good matchup considering that Landorus is a ground type, but it has to be wary of the Stone Edge. Stone Edge going off. The opponent going to shield, and they're going to try to call the bait. Boom! He tried to call the bait, and the opponent immediately top lefts. Good game. Oh, I love it when that happens. Another Rhyperior. Apparently, it's Rhyperior season, as if we didn't already know that. People are probably trying to counter the Crown forms, if I'm being honest, given that they're steel typing, and the Rhyperiors typically do very well into steel types. However, so Breezy is catching them all in the lead, where they need to be in the back, and Landorus is happy to take this Rock Wrecker. It is not going to do very much, and then the opponent's going to send in Dialga to take another. What is with Rhyperior Dialga being a thing? Do we just not respect Landorus anymore? And Zacian now gets to come in and make an absolute fool out of what was once one of the top Pokemon in the entire meta, and is still, up until the release of these Crown forms, one of the best Pokemon in the meta. Now, if the Dialga knows their Iron Heads are neutral in this matchup, so going for the Iron Head would have been the play here, but I think at this point they maybe are just like, I don't know what to do, man. You could have farmed down Behemoth Blade, going out into a Rhyperior that is going to just take it on the chin. Rhyperior gets deleted, and in comes Palkia. Opponent running a double Origin with Rhyperior. Very strong team until Zacian appeared and made an absolute mockery of a team like this. Palkia is going to come in and is going to be able to shield once. Doesn't matter if this is Aqua Tail or Spatial Rend. We have to shield this at this point. Aqua Tail, that's fine. Get farmed down, and the opponent not going to be able to handle a full HP Palkia, and that's going to be a good game. Well played. Next game against... How are they all Rhyperiors, bro? Genuinely, how are there so many? If I were leading Landorus, I would see every Ice Fang Kyurem on the planet. But Meloetta is a pretty interesting safe switch here. We should be bringing in Zacian. Please bring in Zacian. Please. Here it comes. Bring it in. Let it happen. Let it happen. Let it happen. Catch the Psyshock, but it wasn't a Psyshock. The opponent over farming because they know they can. And the catch attempt is a fail, but the opponent still has to throw energy, but it's just a Thunderbolt, which does almost nothing. Zacian, over farming, knows it can live another Thunderbolt quite easily. However, I at this point have forgotten where the energy is at. Now the opponent swapping. Old man brain. This early in the afternoon. Close combat, however, getting the shield, but Rhyperior not going to be able to get the farm down even with the defense drop, and hey, there's the close combat! Boom! Knocking it out in one shot, dude. Oh my goodness. The opponent comes back in with a Meloetta, but it's not going to matter at this point. There's pretty much nothing left that can handle Palkia with energy and a shield advantage, and that's going to be a good game. Well played. Yes, there are things, but there aren't very many. Urshifu! Another new Pokemon that I haven't seen yet, and it's in this game. Now, they look like they are on the single strike version. I don't know anything about Urshifu. I haven't actually watched any of the content that includes it yet. So that's me, I gotta do that. But attack drop from the Landorus. Urshifu still can't overcome a Landorus CMP because Landorus has such a ridiculously high attack. The opponent doesn't have an answer to where nobody has answers to Landorus today. Just forget it exists. It is still very much a thing. However, Solgaleo is here, and it is on the field. And now we kind of have to go into Palkia because the Landorus is so low. But that's okay, because at this point, you could probably farm down the Solgaleo if it doesn't have Solar Beam, which this one does not appear to have it. They are just going straight for the Psychic Fangs. Full farm down, and you can throw this energy into the Urshifu and make them very, very miserable. Solgaleo looking to get a last-minute charge move off. It's another Psychic Fangs for sure. And the opponent letting the Solgaleo go down. What comes in here? It's going to be a Zacian of their own. The opponent also rocking the Crown Form Zacian. Let's see how Palkia can fare with the energy here now that we see how much damage these are doing non-debuffed. Doing some considerably decent damage, but it will still take 4 Aqua Tails to KO this Zacian because the Dragon Breaths are doing literally 1 damage to a Pokemon that has almost more stats than anything else in the Master League. The opponent now is looking to go for a farm, but swaps into Urshifu. And now Zacian can come in and farm down this Urshifu. This is going to be a good game, I feel. I don't think that Urshifu, even though it is single strike, does not have the ability to really do much in this matchup. It is going to get fully farmed down. All Zacian needs is 2 moves, and it can't get to another charge move with Sucker Punch. Going to be able to go for the double close combat. Has 2 shields. Doesn't matter how much energy the opponent Zacian has. Behemoth Blade getting blocked, and close combat is reached. This is going to be one of 2 close combats. As the opponent know it's over, they're going to decide to shield this move. Yes, they are. But now, we see him go for the close combat. Could have gone for the Behemoth Blade, and I wish he had, but it's okay. Safe wins, we take those. Close combat, taking out the other Crown Form Zacian, and that's going to be a good game. Well played. Next game, Landorus into Keldeo. Finally, not a Rhyperior, but still not great. Now, the opponent does have access to Aqua Jet in this matchup, but the poison jabs are resisted, and the opponent's Keldeo is still losing CMP to Landorus, as almost everything does. Landorus' Sancier Storm is going to do a decent amount of damage here, but the opponent's Keldeo can still fire off for super effective damage, which is going to be a problem. They go for the Sacred Sword bait. Why? Why? Looking to catch a move on the Crown Form Zacian. Now, these Metal Claws are resisted. Seal is a terrible offensive typing, but it's still, they're gonna do enough because just Zacian has the stats to back up this moveset. Whatever it needs, it can just use it now. I would love to see the fully spec'd Zacian with the full moveset. However, I don't know that they will ever do that because that would be truly broken. Imagine this Zacian with the same moveset. It would just be silly. Going for the resisted Behemoth Bash. Close combat would absolutely be doing the damage, but perhaps XehrFelrose does not want to drop his defense yet. Going for another Behemoth Blade. Behemoth Bash is the other one. Behemoth Blade! Doing a ton of damage. Would have, but the opponent just shields. But now, Zacian with the Ice Fangs is going to be looking to go for a Behemoth Bash, but that's not going to do very much damage either. I thought I'd see more close combat, I'm going to be honest. Maybe we're just testing to see. I imagine we're just testing to see how much damage this stuff does. Because these moves are just absolutely, just horrendously powerful. Landorus has a move almost and has a shield. It can farm down the opponent's Dialga and look to just destroy the Zamazenta on the other side with this farm. Unfortunately, the opponent is not going to be able to overcome this Landorus. As a Sandseer Storm is reached, it's going to drop the attack. The nice thing about the Zamazenta, though, is that if Landorus does indeed get popular, the Ice Fangs are going to absolutely delete it. And honestly, it feels like Zamazenta is just going to take the place of Kyurem. Like, you have the thing that does the ice damage just like Kyurem, but it has the better typing. Kyurem just ceases to exist in its current form. Like, Kyurem White, because it has the Fusion Flare, will definitely see play. But I feel like Kyurem Black is just, at this point, it is being written out. I think that at this point, it just won't. I think that the fire coverage on the White Kyurem is really what's going to set it apart in this new meta with the Crown forms. Because at least that can still threaten some damage. However, I'm not sure that it's going to appreciate having to go through the Fairy Steel typing with its Dragon type moves, Ice Fang being resisted. It's a tough sell. But opponent making a very nice catch on their Dialga, and then we're gonna see XehrFelrose look to swap into the Zacian here and just completely obliterate this Dialga. Opponent's gonna go for the Roar of Time. Why is nobody going for Ironhead? It's neutral trainers. Ironhead is neutral. I don't understand what's happening in these typing situations. We throw close combat into the, well, I mean, yes, you don't want to drop defense in this case. I get it. But, like, why? Why? It's Fairy Steel. It's triple resisted dragon type damage. Close combat. Gonna be almost, well, it would have been enough. Gonna get the shield, though. Opponent's gonna bring in their Kyurem. But Landorus is getting to a charge move here. And is going to be able to lower the attack of the Kyurem, but it's going to get some energy in the form of those Shadow Claws. But Palkia could absolutely just do some nasty things, but Zacian is going to stay right where it's at, come back into the field, and look to Metal Claw down the opponent's Kyurem. No, never mind, we're going for the close combat. Look, I'm telling y'all, I get it one or two times. I got two ways I can go. They're either going to farm or they're going to throw. One of the two is going to happen. I just happen to get it correct sometimes. That's the art of shoutcasting. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. Or you just wait and react like intelligent person probably would. But you know who I am. You know who I am. Palkia can live this move, no problem. Sandseer Storm not going to be doing enough damage to knock out. Opponent is going to concede because they know the game is over. Well played, good game. Next game, we have Landorus into Florges. This is a pretty neutral matchup. Trailblaze does make this a bit of an easier matchup for the Florges being able to get there in 5 Fairy Winds. However, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. This is overall a very poor thing for the opponent to see, because Landorus just, like, it drops the attack before you can get to the Moonblast. It's not comfortable by any means, because there is no point in which the Moonblast is just going to get outpaced, right? So, unfortunately, the opponent is also probably aware of this fact. And Florges just going to be happy enough to go down, maybe get a shield advantage, and that's exactly what's going to happen. They just need to get that shield advantage. They're going for the Moonblast. Florges doing its work, and then Palkia is going to try to swap in and get this farm down, but unfortunately, Landorus is going to be able to get to the Sandseer Storm and drop the attack stat, and then in comes Zacian to make matters even worse, because there's nothing that this Palkia can do except throw these Aqua Tails and pray that it can get to enough. But unfortunately for them, these close combats hit hard and they hit fast. Well, kind of fast. I wouldn't say fast. This is Metal Claw we're talking about here. But the attack drop on the Palkia makes this such a commanding matchup for Zacian that it can simply just decide to farm up as much as it likes and never really has to throw or shield until the third Aqua Tail is thrown. Aqua Tail here, gonna bring Zacian down into the red, but Palkia comes in for the Dragon Breath down, and the opponent does not have an answer, and they concede the game. Well played. Next game, Palkia on the lead as my children are being absolutely insane behind me. Now, this is not a good matchup for Landorus in even energy, because even though it can get to the Sandsear Storm at the right pace here, its third one will get outpaced because Palkia gets to its third move at 11 Dragon Breaths. Now, looking to make the catch. My God, what a read! This is why Sir Breezy is a Master League aficionado that I've come to respect. He doesn't make content. Sometimes I wish he would. But this man is so talented at playing Master League and reading players in the Master League. It's insane. Opponent brings in their Necrozma. Now, Sir Breezy has a choice to make. Does shield the potential outrage? The opponent goes for the outrage. And now can get the shield back from the opponent, making sure that he's throwing before they're able to get to that second outrage or a move that would threaten a knockout. Put it back, please, right now. I told you they were being insane behind me. I told y'all. All right, Landorus comes back in, trying to get this farm down, and absolutely does. This energy is going to go crazy. Opponent brings in their Landorus, and Sir Breezy's going for a cheeky Sandsear to see if he can get a shield off the opponent, and they don't respect it, and honestly, at that HP, they don't need to. But the Sandsear Storm is going to do a little bit of damage here that's going to help the Stone Edge nearly get the knockout, and the opponent is going to go for a shield, and I actually don't know how well Zacian's going to be able to get himself out of this matchup. He's looking to go for that shield. Sandsear Storm Trainer is baiting, and in comes the Palkia. And it looks like Sir Breezy's going for a small Stone Edge, looking for the farm down, hoping to get to a move. The opponent throws the energy, and Palkia is in prime farm down range. Can Zacian pull this off and get to the Behemoth Blade before the opponent can get to their move? Behemoth Blade is reached. Here it comes. Landorus is about to be eating its own dirt as it gets smacked out of the sky by Behemoth Blade. Boom! Taking it out. Good game. Zamazenta in the lead in the last game here. We have Ice Fang on this thing, so Landorus has something to be scared of as it's getting obliterated by these double super effective fast moves. Sandsear Storm is going to be thrown here, and it's going to do some sizable damage, but it's only half. Bro, Zamazenta tanking a Sandsear Storm like it's nothing, and these Pokemon are just allowed to be in the Open Master League because there's no restrictions. They're just here. That is insanity to me that he could just shrug off a Sandsear Storm like that. We now have, oh, and it hurts the Keldeo. That Spatial Rent almost knocks out Sacred Sword. Will get the knockout, but this now allows Zacian to come in, and if the opponent comes back in with that Zamazenta, these Metal Claws are going to be resisted, but so are those Ice Fangs. An opponent is going to have to try to get a charge move off here, but nice counting by Sir Breezy, going for the Behemoth Blade just as the opponent would have been able to get to the close combat. And now he has a choice to make, looking to go for the shield here, keeping the Zacian alive. It has to stay alive to win this game. And going into the Landorus, the opponent cannot get the farm down before getting taken out by Mudshots, and Kiram comes in, but that's okay. We have two Behemoth Blades before the opponent can get the two charge moves. Behemoth Blade number one going off. Does the opponent respect this, or do they want a shield to think that they can win the game? Behemoth Blade, bang! Takes out the Kiram, and that's gonna be it. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Quoted from the great Jamie Finn. Zacian is just destroying everybody. Oh my goodness. This thing is gonna change everything. This is the power creep in its most severe form. You thought Kiram was crazy? Man, get your ho-ohs ready, because Zacian's about to destroy everything. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This was a lot of fun, and I really am looking forward to these things destroying everybody else in the Master League, because how are you going to deal with this? I haven't figured it out yet. You just ho-oh and pray. That's it. You just hope you can get your ho-oh on this thing. Otherwise, it just destroys everything else. But we'll see how the meta shakes out. Something may happen. You never know what. But until next time, y'all, thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.